there yet, except for certain things. When it's washing dishes, I can do that. I can say, I take care of it. I love washing dishes. So there was just one question, which is good because I didn't. We didn't go into the wrong views, right, in these 8 freedoms. So there's a question, very good, very well. I'm quite happy that you asked now. What is a wrong view? A wrong view is, again, it's the graduated path to enlightenment. Never forget that. So whatever you find helpful from here, for whatever you want to attain, take it out, you can use it, it's absolutely no problem. Whatever you cannot do anything with it, just leave it. So here, for example, a wrong view, we have to be free from wrong views of not believing that there is such a thing as full awakening. Not having trust or not having belief that there's such a thing as Buddha Shakyamuni, who existed, 2,600 years ago, and especially not believing that these methods are not valid, and not believing in your own potential. A wrong view, in more simple terms, is when you are firmly convinced that something exists, when as a matter of fact it does not exist, and when you're firmly convinced that something does not exist, when as a matter of fact it does exist. That is what is called basically a wrong view. So in Buddhist terms, it means not believing in rebirth, not believing in cause and effect like karma, not believing in that you can attain full enlightenment and so on. That is for Buddhists. So now you don't have to go around and tell your Jewish grandparents or parents, oh, you poor thing, you have a wrong view. Okay? These are wrong views for the Buddhists. Okay? And if you have this wrong view, I mean, it's clear why we have to be free from it. Why? Why do we have to be free from it? Exactly. I mean, I have to be free from the wrong view. There's a city called Tel Aviv, which is very beautiful. If I have this wrong view, there's no such thing as Tel Aviv, I will never get there. And even when I'm there, I don't know that I'm there, on top of it. So that's why. Yeah, and also, as I said, it will be difficult to do this in one lifetime. We will do it in one lifetime when we have prepared for that lifetime. Yeah? One lifetime will be the last lifetime, but for me, I know this one is not the last. So what my attention lies on, even though, bodhicitta and wanting to be of benefit to all sentient beings is very far away, but I have to pay special attention on purifying my negative karma and not creating more negative karma, so that I don't have to worry so much about the next rebirth. Yeah? This is what I have to pay attention to. But at the same time also studying the delusions and bodhicitta and all that. And that's something I can do, I think. Hope. I see other people who, like I talked about Geshe-Tashi yesterday, I see other people like Geshe-Tashi, they definitely don't create any causes in this life the way they behave for lower rebirth. So, yeah, so that's where we have to put effort into. Okay. But it is about each of these meditations, you should kind of come to a conclusion, or it should have it's good if it has some effect on your mind, but you don't need to manipulate anything. You can sit in meditation and somebody next to you, same meditation, there tears streaming down their face and this and that, and then you think, oh wow, it works so well for them and it doesn't work for me. Yeah, they're going a bit overboard, no? So what one tries to do is, if it happens, let it happen, it's okay, but it doesn't mean that the meditation works, because then you go to the other extreme, being very emotional. There's too much emotion in this world. This is what the Dalai Lama keeps saying lately. There is too much emotion, and when Buddhists talk about emotions, they talk about negative emotions. Emotions that distort, and there is a lot of emotion in the world. Like people going in the street and screaming and shouting and this and that. Those against those and those for, yeah. So what one tries to do is having a mind that is, you understand the word sober? Not drunk. Sober. Seeing reality as it is. So not emotionally kind of charged up. Doesn't mean you become as cold as a fish. You become just very balanced, and your heart is able to remain open. And in the break also we had this discussion, heart and mind, the same thing. Yes, in Buddhist terms it is. but also because we also kind of, although being kind is a mind state, we would never say he has a good brain. We would say he or she has a good heart. So we understand the compassion, the heart thing, that it's something happening here. Okay, so this is why sometimes they talk about heart, the heart of enlightenment, or the mind of enlightenment. Sometimes they talk about the mind of enlightenment. Yeah, and this is the same thing, if it's done in Buddhist terms. Heart and mind is the same thing, because mind is not the brain. Mind is very complex. This is what we kind of looked at it yesterday. It's the 6 main minds with all the mental factors inside. So in there you can have love and anger, but not together. Love and anger cannot be there at the same moment. You can have both in the same mind stream, but it cannot be there at the same moment. You cannot reject somebody and feeling very and wanting to care for somebody at the same time. Same second is impossible. It feels like that sometimes. Like we see, we are very angry with somebody and we say, oh, I still love you. It's not true, not at that moment. You do not love that person. And love is not something also that, there is maybe a mother's love, a father's love, Savta's love, Saba's love, who is there spontaneously, uninterruptedly for their own children. But all the other stuff, when we say friends and partners, this is attachment, mixed with some little bit of love, but most of it is attachment. Yeah? Okay. So what we're trying to do here is to generate an appreciation for our present situation. Now, not at lunchtime, not this afternoon, and not tomorrow. Now. Right this second. And gratitude is a very beautiful mind. It gives you a lot of space. Your ego decreases quite a bit, and it becomes very strong. Whereas being impatient and not grateful, your ego is huge. And that's why it needs so much to satisfy you, because your ego is so big at that moment. Yeah? So when you see, wow, I get so many things, life is so wonderful, it's so relaxing, you totally open up. And the ego curls up somewhere, and for a while is kind of content and happy. So please do not generate guilt here that you have all these good conditions and you're not doing anything with it. It's not the point. It's another ego trip. Guilt is just an ego trip. I'm so especially bad. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, it's contemplation. So if you can, close your eyes. Have a straight back. Close your eyes. Try not to make notes. I really try to go into these points so that you experience something. Whatever you don't get, you don't get. As I said, if you want to practice Buddhism, you'll have many of these teachings again. Otherwise, but if you don't, then also if you don't remember everything, it's not so important. And try to relax. And we can use your breath to become a bit more open to whatever is there, because that is the point of meditation, also to learn not to cringe up when things get difficult, when it is unpleasant, to just look and to experience, to live basically. When we learn to be aware, we learn to be fully present in our lives. Most of the time we're absent. We're lost in the past or in the future. So this is why awareness or mindfulness is very important to train. Practice means training. Training means doing it. So you can take your body as your focal object, knowing that you are sitting, being aware that you are sitting. Being aware also means knowing. And then to really get in contact with your body sensations. And you can look at your legs first, kind of really go there with your awareness to experience what is going on there as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you try to open up that area. become very spacious with your out breath. Then you move up to your buttocks, to your abdomen, lower back, belly, the area around the genitals and the genitals, same thing. What's happening there? Don't interfere, just look. Welcome everything that is there, be it relaxed and kind of comfortable or painful or tingling or something. Everything is totally okay. And as you breathe out, not to make it go away, just to open up, just to give it more space. You kind of visualize it becomes very spacious, that area, very open. And very relaxed in that case. Then you go to your chest. Also there, experience the sensations without moving, just being there and using your breath again to become spacious and opening up. Then your upper back and your shoulders. Then you move down your arms to your hands. There. Probably able to feel tingling. That tingling is always there. And so then we see how unaware we are, what's going on in the body. So just experience it. Maybe with wonder, saying, wow, there's energy in my hands. And you make that area very spacious with your out breath. Your neck and your throat. And then especially your face. Your jaw, the muscles, where you're holding the jaw sometimes, and around and behind the eyes and the front. There again, just open up, nothing to hold. So we can start a reflection by thinking, like it happens very often that we only start to appreciate things once they have disappeared. That when they're present, we don't appreciate it, and then we regret that they have gone. Again, it's a clear sign of not being aware. So in order to do this meditation, in order to bring up some joy and appreciation about our present situation, just think, how would it be if my body, like your body, would be filled with excruciating pain? So it might be a bit painful, yes? And then, of course, that pain becomes very big. But it could be so much worse. You could have all, in the break, fell down, broke a bone, for example. You didn't. So one imagines how it would be if it would be filled with excruciating pain, and then one thinks, but wow, I'm not. We could all be lying in a hospital. We could all have terrible headaches, upset stomach, or like other sicknesses that would prevent us from being able to be here. So we rejoice that this, for the moment, is absent. So appreciation is not something in your head. You can actually feel it in your body, in the center of your chest, and opening up. Maybe accompanied with a word like, wow, so wonderful, so amazing. I have a body that more or less functions. Isn't that wonderful? So all of us also, we could have been born in an area where it is very difficult to find food and drink. Again, you don't have to go into other dimensions. If that's too difficult, then just come stay on this planet. We don't realize that we're actually a minority. Somebody who doesn't have to worry about food and drink every day of our lives, at least for the moment. Many animals have to fight for their food and for their drink, and if they're weak, they don't get anything. Many humans don't have the resources to feed themselves properly, either because it's a war zone, there's nothing to buy, or they live in a very impoverished area, like some parts of Africa, or like Venezuela, I think, at the moment, and also Argentina is going a bit that way. Especially Venezuela is like, because of the system, things are not available anymore, people don't have money. So check your present situation, especially today. All we have to do is walk down to the dining hall. Okay, I do admit, it's not gourmet food, but it's food to nourish us. It keeps us alive, and we have access to it. Isn't that wonderful? We didn't buy it, we didn't cook it, we only have to eat it. Now look at your mind, what does it say? Or we could all of us could have been born as animals, but this time round we're not. Again, this is the Buddhist view. So if you think, no, there's only one rebirth, and you're convinced of that, didn't think, but I could behave like an animal because some people do. Fighting for their own good, maybe for their own children, but that's it. And only being interested in pleasure, comfort, and sex. But looks like you're not. This is why you're here. So be happy about that. Or we could be in an area or in a state or in a realm where there is no teachings to be found. Nobody knows about those teachings, or it is forbidden to practice them. I mean, Tibet is such a place. Now it's loosening up a bit, but many years they were not allowed to practice. They were not allowed to have pictures of the Dalai Lama. They were totally controlled by the Chinese, who destroyed all the monasteries. Yet still a few people were brave enough to still study and do these practices under these difficult conditions. I can't remember who it was, but there's one Lama who was like locked into his room, something like 40 years or something. And he just studied the texts. Now, the question is, yeah, I know, some people can do it. But would we be able to do that? Would we have so much courage to still practice, even though we know we face maybe prison and torture, or even death, if they find out that we follow these teachings? I wouldn't. I'd be too scared. And we appreciate the good situation that we have right now. Nobody controlling us, nobody forbidding anything. We're free to practice this path to enlightenment. Now, with being free from limited mental capacities, it can go also into language. Now, I don't know Hebrew, and some of you might have problems understanding me, so that is a bit of a hindrance. Still, there is translators. The teachings that we have come from Tibet. So if maybe 100 years ago we would have wanted to know about those teachings, you would have had to learn Tibetan first. So that goes into that category, that we don't understand what is being said, be it because we don't know the language or because we don't have the mental capacities. So it looks like we are mostly, at the moment, also free from that. And being free from wrong views, well, you have to check. How much do I trust my innate goodness, natural goodness, natural spaciousness and natural wisdom? Do I have a firm belief that I can eliminate, uproot all negative emotions and all wrong views? Now, some people are not sure about rebirth. That's fine if you leave it open. If you look at it as a hypothesis, it could be. I don't know, but it could be. It only becomes a hindrance when you're firmly convinced that no, at the time of death, everything is finished. Then, quite honestly, why would you want to practice? just go out and have fun. No need to develop the mind. What for? If whatever you do has no consequence, like when we talk about karma, if nobody kind of finds out what you've done, if it's unethical, then who cares? So being free from these wrong views will help you on the path to just continue. Okay, so these are the things that it's helpful to be free from them so that we can practice. And the 10 endowments, or sometimes they're called the 10 richnesses. I think we can draw them together. We are human, that's no question. This we cannot debate. Meaning we have human intelligence. We can figure things out. And Buddhism is still being practiced. If you want to practice Buddhism, there are definitely more than 4 monks or 4 nuns. Sangha community ordained monks and nuns, and especially in Asian countries, are still quite big. And also in the West, it's starting to grow places for monks and nuns to live. I guess none of us has created terrible crimes. I'm not sure. This again is very personal. So if you haven't, be very happy. You know, it doesn't even have to be like something planned. Just imagine if you drive and you kill a child because you were on the telephone. How would your life be? Your peace of mind. So again, it's not about judging these people. I mean, they're punished enough. It's about being happy that nothing like this has occurred in our life yet. And having faith and trust in the teachings, this again is up to you to check. This nobody can give you. This you have to develop and train yourself. And the best way to have faith in the teachings is if you study. Because if you have faith and you don't know what is being said or practiced, then it's blind faith, and that's not what one wants. So if you have been practicing for a number of years, let's say at least 5, then I think you can be very happy about this point. Because if you practice regularly for 5 years, it really becomes part of your life. And you can't lose it anymore. Even maybe you'll get fed up with Buddhism. But the principles of a good heart and developing wisdom and the teachings about emptiness, they're still there. And also at the moment we are lucky enough that we are living in a time when a Buddha has appeared, has been giving the teachings, because there's also periods where there is no Buddhist teachings. But they're still there. They are on the way to degenerate. That is also